Well, welcome. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:11. And today is January 15th. We are the Board of Library.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
I don't think so, but I'll try.
Okay.
We're the Board of Library Commissioners and the Board of Library Trustees, and this is on my right.
I'm Katie McGonigal, Library Director.
Jean Cianciolo, trustee.
Nancy O'Connor, trustee.
Larry Bauman, secretary.
Amy Paul, vice chair.
And Cindy McNaught, Chair. On the agenda today, we have public comments, and seeing no public, I think we can proceed to the meeting minutes. Have we looked over the minutes of the December 23rd, 2024 meeting? And if you've looked them over, I need a vote to accept.
It's right, we met on a different day. I was about to say we didn't meet at 3:07, but we definitely did because it was a different.
Yep.
Thank you, Larry. Excellent minutes.
Do I hear a vote to accept the minutes?
I'll make, yes.
Thank
I'll make, oh my God.
Do you want to vote to accept?
No, to accept the minutes,
Thank
yes,
you,
thank
Jane.
you, sorry
Do I
about
hear a
that.
second? Thank you, Amy. All right, now, yes, go ahead. Oh, let's vote on this. Do we have a vote to accept the minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
The minutes are accepted. Thank you, Larry. And now we'll move on to the director's report. We have updates on program, collection development, building needs, and professional development. What do you have for us?
Got it all.
She's done it all.
Hi, thank you.
All right.
So, as usual, I'm going to start with children's highlights. During the month of December, there were 32 programs. There were 441 program attendees. In the children's department, there were 201 reference transactions, and there was passive programming in the children's department. There were 218 kiddos that participated in the scavenger hunt, and 156 guesses went into the guessing jar. Children's department continued their busy programming schedule through the month of December. They also rotated several displays throughout the department, offered passive programming, and added new items to the collection. A new and exciting addition to the collection is what's called a Wazoodle, and I have an image here. It's like a little device that folks can check out, and it's a preloaded audio that has stories and songs and activities that kids can enjoy and follow along.
No, that's pretty
And
neat.
it's-
Yeah, it's
it's
fun.
only
Especially
this
for the
big?
mothers.
No, I mean, it's like this big, and it comes in a case, but yeah.
It's pretty small.
Yeah. And then on the next page, you'll see some pictures that I included of their scavenger hunt and some of the displays that went up in the department.
Did they make the store?
Yeah, it's cute. Right?
Cute, really cute.
And they'll do display several areas throughout the department. So on top of the new books and nonfiction, they're on top of where like the preloaded audio materials are, over by the board book. So there's lots of displays to kind of hit different age ranges and genres and interests. For teen highlights, there were 10 programs during the month of December and 179 program attendees. Teen Spot really took off during the month of December in the library. Teen Spot was held on 3 Fridays, and the attendance numbers were 30, 34, and 37. We moved it here to the library from across the street, just due to scheduling between our two sites. And Erica reported having it on site allows for more teens to attend. It provides them quick access to a place to eat, talk, relax, do crafts, dance, and play games. And library staff are reporting that being able to redirect teens to the community room and conference room is really helpful. So what happened is initially Erica had booked the community room for the program, but because there were so many teens attending, she ended up booking both of these rooms, and now the teens are going back and forth between the two,
that's good.
which is great.
That's really good. I saw
Yeah.
some coming over the other day.
Yeah, it's
That's
been,
good.
it's
Yeah.
a full programming schedule. There's lots of options.
I'm really amazed that teens come.
It's very busy. We're very busy. We're within walking distance to 2 of the schools, so we get
Yeah.
a lot of folks that come over. For that teen spot on Fridays, that's still in partnership with Park and Rec, and we really appreciate their partnership on this much-needed program. Another program that Erica is offering is the Winter Crafternoons. And the focus in December was gift giving, but it was still applicable for those who do not celebrate certain holidays. The month started with a DIY holiday wrapping paper and greeting cards, and then moved on to Sharpie mugs, and it ended with last-minute gifts prior to their school break. Leftover pieces from crafts throughout the year were used for the DIY gifts, and the teens made many things for their families and friends.
This is really cool.
This was the highest attended crafternoon with 17 teens participating, so the DIY one.
That's, to get 17 teens is amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
That
And so then
proves-
Erica
Isn't that
provided
amazing?
pictures for some of the things that the
Yeah,
kiddos,
they look
that the
really
teens
cool.
created. I have my eye on that one right in the middle in the center, which is like a Pokeball from Pokemon. That's
Oh.
a big hit. So Erica has really done a great job with the teen programming. Moving on to adult highlights, there were 7 programs, 87 program attendees. There were 130 reference transactions up at the information desk. There was 121.5 hours of study room use, and 21 requests went unfulfilled. The library recognized the winter and celebratory season with a winter Celtic music program with Jeff Snow, as well as make your own wrapping paper craft programs. These programs were well attended and received many positive comments from program participants. From the circulation department, there were 13,049 items circulated. This was an increase of 403 items from November and an increase of 444 items from December of '23. There were 37 new patron registrations. There were 81 reference transactions at the circulation desk. There were 12 non-library meeting room uses, 40.25 volunteer shelving hours, and the door count was 7,620. The library has added a new museum pass to the collection to Riverside Reptiles Education Center in Enfield. And you can see we did the team did a fun socials post to publicize that. And you may have noticed a little bit of dip in our volunteer hours in December. So the senior work off abatement program, which we call SWAP, their volunteer session ended for 2024. But another cohort of volunteers will begin in 2025.
Oh.
The library definitely noticed their absence and greatly appreciated all the work that they did for the library on a weekly basis. The SWAT volunteers help with shelving, shelf reading, organizing, and pulling pre-selected books from reports that library staff run.
How many are you getting in 2025?
In 2025, they've already started,
Okay.
and we have 3.
3,
Mhm.
that's good.
The COA coordinates the SWAT
Yeah,
program.
yeah.
Great questions. We're very grateful for our volunteers.
Yeah.
In tech services, there were 438 items added to the collection, 703 items were deleted from the collection, and tech services reclassified 196 items.
That's good.
So Bay State Books, with the approval from the town manager and with assistance from the Board of Health, has installed a book bin on property for library use only. Library and Friends discards will be deposited into the bin, which will be, and these discards will be repurposed or recycled by Bay State Books. Excuse me. This bin provides a necessary and easy way for library staff to discard materials. So it's actually, if you go out this set of doors and kind of follow around, there's a very large bin right there, and Bay State has already come to empty the bin at least
Katie,
once.
can you explain what Bay State Books is for people who might not know?
They're just an organization that has partnered with the town.
Okay.
They also have a book bin over at the COA
Okay,
in that parking lot.
so what do
And
they do, empty it every
Every
day?
so often they'll come, no, not every day.
Okay.
Every so often they will come, we don't know their schedule.
Okay,
And they will take our discarded books and then they can either redistribute them or they will
Recycle them in some
recycle
way.
them or somehow reuse them in some way,
that's really good.
Good.
which is great.
Yeah.
Our items that were added to the collection dipped also in December, but that's kind of just a delay in shipping
Mhm.
from our book vendors.
But that's okay, because you have to keep
There's a lot to
ahead
do.
of-
Yeah.
You have to keep ahead of what's
They're-
deleted.
Exactly, and they are very busy in Texas.
Usually it's the other way around, you add more than you delete.
Yes.
And then you get overcrowded.
Correct. For professional development during the month of December, staff attended the following professional development sessions. Libraries foster social connections. This was through Web Junction. Supercharged Story Times crash course through the Massachusetts Library System. Seeking clarity about municipal digital equity through the Alliance for Digital Equity. Employment law overview for managers through EANE. And Assabet interactive settings through Assabet Interactive. And misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, a guide through Princeton Library.
So that's like fake news.
From the Friends, just some updates on the Friends. The Friends Board has an opening, and they are actively recruiting for a new member, especially from their full membership of their Friends. The Friends are now accepting applications for the Vinnick Memorial Scholarship Awards. The Friends will present 3 scholarships, each in the amount of $1,000, to 3 high school graduating seniors. Preference will be given to students who have volunteered or worked at the library, or who have participated in library programs. More information about the scholarship is available on their website, and I've listed the web address with the direct link to their scholarships. And for the Friends, they have some upcoming events coming. They are going to run their winter raffle baskets from January 27th to February 18th. They're going to have a bake sale on February 8th. And they're going to have a Friends Day at the Springfield Thunderbirds on March 17th.
Oh, yeah, that's supposed to be.
So to kind of connect some of the Friends events, their raffle baskets and their bake sale are going to overlap.
And I brought the bake sale. Yeah, I went to the Friends meeting.
So this has changed. This
That's
was
changed?
Yes, that was a discussion that they were
They're
having.
not gonna do this?
They're going to do the bake sale, but I don't know if that's the exact thing that they're going to be doing.
Okay, all right.
They're still working on that piece.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I met with Diane today to kind of work on
All right.
kind of like their volunteer piece, like how they're going to be recruiting volunteers for the bake sale. But they
Okay.
do have some publicity up already. They've got a sign over in the Friends book sale area.
Okay.
They have it posted to their website, and they started sharing out on the socials.
Oh, okay.
So the Friends
That's good.
organization created a Facebook page, and so they're sharing information on their own page, as well as the town forum, the East Long Meadow Town
Okay,
Forum.
good.
But Nancy attended our last Friends meeting.
I was very surprised at how much work they have to do, really. And these are all volunteers.
Yeah, they do a
And,
really great
I mean,
job.
they have to even, I mean, they have to go out and approach so many people asking for so much stuff to even do things, you know, to collect money. I was astounded at how much work they do,
Yeah, it's great.
really.
And it's good work.
Yeah,
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
yeah.
Question, just on the format. Usually we get a separate report from the Friends. Are you
So-
incorporating it because they've changed their meeting schedule?
So I
Um,
contacted Diane. I had been adding Friends information to my past 2 reports, but I had contacted Diane to see about just, I feel like we're duplicating efforts between having a board member attend their meetings. I'm attending their meetings. I'm already reporting out what they're doing. So Diane and I were happy to come to the decision that she will not be sending a monthly report anymore, and I will
you'll
just report
include
out.
what you've seen
Yep.
or heard.
And I sent
That's great,
her.
Yeah, that's right.
I just think it's,
Definitely.
It
that's a-
streamlines it a lot.
yes.
You know?
So I sent her, here's what I'm gonna put in my report. She was fine with that, so I think that's probably what we'll do going
That's right.
forward. Yep. And for the library to kind of piggyback off and complement each other with some of these upcoming events, on Tuesday, February 18th, I just wanna double check that date, excuse me. Pretty sure it's February 18th. Yes, on Tuesday, February 18th in the evening, the Children's Department will have Mrs. O, the school librarian, and Boomer from the Springfield Thunderbirds
good.
come to do like a story time and activity to kind of complement the upcoming Friends at the Springfield Thunderbirds Day, which will be on March
Thunderbirds Day.
17th. So we're very excited about that.
So what
That will
day
be
is she
happening.
coming?
Tuesday, February 18th, which is also school vacation week.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be great. An update for DPW here in the building. If you get time after our meeting ends, please take a little peek around the building. We had both study rooms repainted, which also impacted our study room use because we'd have to close one room for them to work on
Yeah.
and then close the other room for them to work on. But Patrick from DPW did a fantastic job. He painted both of those rooms. He put chair rails in along the rooms.
Oh, nice.
It looks so nice. So those came out great. And then, this actually happened in January, but I'll probably put it in my next report. But he also painted, as you're going up the stairwell, he painted the right side of the stairwell, which definitely needed a touch up, and it looks fantastic. So we're very excited to have a few areas that got touched up. And we'll also be having the community room painted, which I'll fill you in on next month. For policy review, I've made the changes we discussed at the last meeting to our borrowers policy. I brought in Christina. Christina's the circulation supervisor. We went over the suggestions and then the draft, and so I've got that to present today. And then just a reminder, our next meeting will be the 4th Wednesday of the month and not the 3rd, due to it being vacation.
Okay.
I have a schedule.
So that's the third Wednesday
Yes, instead of the 3rd.
because of vacation.
Yep. Also, before I forget, at the end of your packet, I did tuck in information about the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners' budget request for FY 2026, empowered by libraries, and you have that tucked into the end. And I did email the board and the Friends information about the upcoming library legislative breakfast. I will be attending 2 of them on behalf of the library. You are all welcome and encouraged to attend legislative breakfast if that works for your schedule. And that's what I have for that.
Okay, well, thank you.
Until we get to the policy.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you, Katie. For old business, we have the borrowers policy
Yes.
and
So your next little bit in your packet here is the updated policy with the suggestions from our last meeting.
could I just ask you a question about,
Absolutely.
under 3-week loan period, it says books, does that include ebooks?
No physical books.
So where do ebooks come in?
Ebooks are determined by when you get into Libby or Hoopla or another service. It depends on either the purchase agreement or the loan agreement.
So it can
It could be
change.
21 days, 14 days, 7 days.
Okay,
It
so that
depends.
goes, that's not part of our policy,
Not for this, no.
but are ebooks counted in our statistics?
Yes, they're separate, but yes.
Okay, I just wondered about the ebook, but
Yeah, great question.
thank you.
Yep.
Otherwise, I thought it looked good.
Do you want to read through it?
Do you want to
Can
read
I
So
read
it?
it?
much of- I can read it.
Thank you.
East Long Meadow Public Library Borrowers Policy. East Long Meadow Public Library is a member of the Central and Western Massachusetts Resource Sharing, CWMARS, Consortium, and adheres to the system's recommended guidelines and policies for issuing library cards, loan periods and limits, and lending library materials. Library registration. 1. Any resident of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts may obtain an East Long Meadow Public Library card. A patron will have one CW Mars card, which will be good at all public and some academic libraries in the CW Mars network. For an adult to obtain a library card, the individual must complete a registration application and provide one of the following forms of identification: driver's license, Massachusetts identification card, passport, military identification card, school identification card, work identification card. B, for a minor aged 17 and younger to obtain a library card, a registration application must be completed and one of the following forms of identification need to be provided. Identity confirmed by the presence of a parent or legal guardian who presents their own identification, student identification card, other local forms of positive identification. Applicants can provide the following for address verification. Recently received piece of mail with the current address, personal checks with the printed current address, a utility bill, electric, internet, energy, for the current address, a rental or lease agreement. Out-of-state residents may obtain an East Longmeadow Public Library card or re-register by presenting their home state's version of the acceptable forms of identification listed for Massachusetts residents and paying a $38 yearly fee per card. This fee may be waived under the following circumstances, provided proper documentation is presented at the time of registration. Current employee of the town of East Longmeadow may be required to show a payroll stub. Current East Longmeadow taxpayer who presents a copy of their current East Longmeadow tax bill. Loan periods and limits. Patrons may borrow a maximum of 50 items at one time. There may be limits placed on borrowing certain types of materials due to limited availability. Patrons may have a maximum of 20 items on hold at one time. 3-week loan period. Material, books, CDs, audiobook CDs, adult preloaded audio, with 1 renewal each. 2-week loan period. Material type, new adult books, 1 renewal. Wi-Fi hotspot, 0 renewals. Outdoor games, 1 renewal. 1-week loan period. Material type, magazines, 1 renewal. DVDs, 1 renewal. Video games, 1 renewal. Board games, 1 renewal. Children's preloaded audio, 1 renewal. Children's tablet, 1 renewal. Chromebook, 0 renewals. Other library of things items, 1 renewal. 1 to 3 day loan period. Material type of museum passes with 0 renewals.
Can I just explain this piece right here?
I just did a terrible job reading it. It's hard to read a table.
You did great.
Yeah,
You did great.
Thank you.
That was perfect.
It was great. For this piece here, I changed this from a 3-day loan period to a 1 to 3 day loan period because we are now moving forward with that new Assabet Interactive Museum Pass module, which I'll explain a lot more in detail in our next meeting when it's actually up and running.
Okay.
But with this new module through Assabet Interactive, we will be able to provide printable museum passes. So it will list the museum, our institution name, the date of the museum pass, and it'll print on there the exact date that they can use it.
Okay.
So they don't have to return it, they don't have to come here to get it, they can just print it or show it on their device when they go to the museum or park or what have you. So we changed that. Some of the museum passes have to physically circulate through the building. So you have to come in and get it and then return it. So we wanted to provide a 3-day loan for those ones.
Uh-huh.
So that's why it's 1 to 3 days for the
Okay.
museum passes.
Is the Lazulu, now, does that have to be in
That will be under the children's preloaded audio.
preloaded? Because it's preloaded and you can borrow it. Okay, so that would be included in that, okay.
Yep. Thanks, sorry to interrupt.
Not at all. Library accounts. For the protection and security of all patrons, a library card is the preferred way of accessing a library account. All libraries will be allowed to update patron accounts to reflect accurate information with verification. Patrons can update their own information in their CW Mars account or notify library staff of changes to name, address, phone, and email. The home library location code in the patron account will reflect the town in which the patron resides. Non-CW Mars and out-of-state patrons will have separate location codes. These home library codes will provide non-resident circulation statistics. 1. Patrons are blocked. Sorry. Patrons are blocked by the system when their registration expires, patron owes $10 or more in fines, replacement costs, fees, patron has one lost item, patron has 50 or more items checked out. 2. Patrons assume responsibility for all items borrowed. Libraries agree that the overdue notice will be issued when an item is 2 weeks overdue, and the billing notice will go out when the item is 4 weeks overdue. Overdue notices are sent via email. Patrons will receive email reminders 2 days before items are due and overdue reminders 2 weeks after an item's due date has passed. Eligible items will renew automatically. 3. Overdue notices are sent as a courtesy only. Patrons are responsible for returning their items on time and paying their fines and fees regardless of whether or not the notification is received. 4. Lost materials are items that have been overdue for more than 4 weeks or that cannot be found and returned by the patron. Patrons will be charged for each lost item on their account in accordance with CW Mars policy. East Long Meadow items that are lost will be subject to a charge for the full replacement cost of that item. No refunds will be issued once the item is billed and paid. East Long Meadow does not accept replacements for lost items. For items belonging to other libraries, patrons may log into their account and pay with a credit card or pay in person by check made out to the owning library. The check payment will be mailed to the owning library. Patrons will have to contact the owning library in the event they subsequently locate a lost and paid item. Each lending institution has their own policy and procedure in place, and patrons may or may not be issued a refund. 5. There is no initial charge for a library card. Lost or misplaced cards will be issued after showing proper identification and paying a $2 replacement charge. 6. Overdue fines, lost fees, or damaged item fees may be waived at the discretion of the library director or designee. 7. Any patron that is a registered borrower at a certified CW Mars member library can log in to their account and review their library record online. While logged in, the patron will see a list of materials borrowed, outstanding requests for library materials, and any fines owed. Patrons will also be able to request items from other libraries through their account online. Each time a patron accesses their account online, they will be required to enter a library card number and personal identification number, PIN. Patrons can request a new PIN by either selecting Forgot Your PIN button, and the PIN will be emailed to their address on file, or patrons may contact the circulation desk for assistance in resetting a PIN at 413-525-5400 extension 1511. 8. Patrons may give permission for another individual to pick up their items on hold. Library staff will make a notation in the borrower's record noting permissions. The person picking up another patron's items on hold can also present the receiving patron's library card number, or a picture of their library card to library staff. 9. Library accounts and their associated personal information are confidential. East Long Meadow Public Library is constrained by the requirements of Chapter 66, Section 10 of the Massachusetts General Laws dealing with access to public records, and to the extent that records maintained by the East Long Meadow Public Library are public records under said law. However, Chapter 78, Section 7 of the Massachusetts General Law addresses borrower confidentiality. It states that part of the records of a public library, It states that part of the records of a public library which reveals the identity and intellectual pursuits of a person using the library shall not be public record. Therefore, confidential library records will not be released or made available in any format to a federal agent, law enforcement officer, or other person unless a court order in proper form has been entered by a court of competent jurisdiction. 10. Only the library director is authorized to accept and respond to court orders or other requests for circulation or registration of records. The end. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Excellent. More administrative stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Amy.
You wrote something that I couldn't read. Because it's upside down to me.
No, it's all minor stuff.
I have a
There's
correction also. Okay, so a couple of edits still to go.
Okay.
Library registration number 1, there should be a period at the end of that.
Yep.
I don't even know how spell check didn't catch that.
It's because of the bullets. I don't think there should be colons after the headings.
Well, and that one's underlined and the other one isn't.
Exactly. So I think we need to agree, look at the other policies and
They all
see
have
if-
colons and underlines, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Just whatever they are, we should just look at that.
Okay.
I think they should just be bolded, if I had to make bolded,
Well,
not
just
underlined and not coloned, but as long
Okay,
as they
I'll go back and
match.
look.
We have 3 options in one policy, so let's just make that.
Well, underline the first one, so at least they match the other two.
Okay.
And then, did you write something on the first
Oh,
page? What did you write?
We have a rental or lease agreement, we wanna add a deed/mortgage, if that's.
Oops.
Sure.
Under which one?
We have, C, rental or lease agreement,
Or a mortgage, you said?
I think it falls in the same category.
Well, wouldn't it be a bill, like a utility bill, if you bring
Well,
in your mortgage bill?
I couldn't hear what you said.
I just wanna add mortgage to
It would be a bill.
the 4th, but we have utility bill, which you can get
Yep.
if you have a rental agreement, or if you have a lease agreement. So I don't,
Why would you want, this is for address verification?
Yeah.
The person's mortgage?
purely for,
Covering all bases.
if you offer the rental or lease agreement, why wouldn't you also say you
Yeah.
can provide a
So-
mortgage bill?
A mortgage, comma, rental, a
Yeah.
mortgage, or,
Well, actually,
Invoice, right?
We call it a
It's-
bill.
you're saying it's the agreement, so it would be like the mortgage document.
Oh, or maybe deed would be better then, I don't know. But then, maybe it's not because they're just a taxpayer, I don't know, just wanna raise the question.
But no, you could have a mortgage bill. If you had a
yeah,
mortgage.
I think we would accept.
Yeah, I just think it should be.
So that would come under the
A
bill.
mortgage
I
bill, rental or
find,
lease agreement.
I would, if somebody said, let me see your mortgage payment or your mortgage bill, first of all, I'd say, if I didn't know, my mortgage, what are you talking about? It's
Well,
in a
let's
big
think
pile of
about it from the
papers
other
that,
direction
you
though,
know?
right? If you say, I don't have, like, I went to adopt a cat once,
yeah.
and I didn't have a utility bill, I didn't have anything else, but I did have my mortgage statement. Why would we limit it artificially if that is also available? It doesn't say they have to provide it, this is just another option.
So you could just add or mortgage statement.
Sure.
A
If you wanna,
rental
if you,
or
I
lease
totally
agreement.
agree though, Nancy, like,
think-
no one's gonna come in with their,
Yeah.
like, big pile of closing documents.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, all I wanna do is get a
mortgage
book out.
statement.
At least that's what I would say. I understand what you're saying, but,
Well, it gives a
I
number
think
of
most
options.
people-
Yeah, we're
so,
trying, we're
I
trying
mean,
to,
wouldn't even have it available
part of the reason we
to them.
redid this policy, whenever we just did it last, it was the last update, was to make it easier for people to be able to bring in different types of
Yeah.
identification, was to kind of expand it out to make it easier for folks to be able to,
Proof,
yeah.
proof where they live, that they
Um,
live in town.
Yep. On page 2. It's towards the top under B,
Yep.
presents a
Presents.
copy. Yep,
Oh, yes.
Presents.
And I think there should be, never mind, we're good.
okay. On page 3, under library accounts, the second paragraph where it starts, all libraries will be allowed, I'm sorry, scratch off the word all and put CW Mars libraries.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Where's this under what?
right here. That should say
Oh.
CW Mars libraries.
I think the transition is awkward. Because we go from paragraphs to a bulleted listed without an explanation of why this is a list. I noticed while reading, it might not be
okay.
a problem, but I did notice that the transition from the top 3 paragraphs under library accounts
Mm-hmm.
to the bulleted list seemed awkward. It might not be
So make,
relevant, but this, even something like, what did we do before?
1, 2, and 3. Change that to 4.
No.
Oh, yeah, that might work. So the heading is the first sentence, and then the requirements are essentially starting with the second paragraph. It's just a formatting thing, it's not a content.
Yeah, whatever.
Leave that 1,
And then
2,
this
and then
is
that's 3.
1, 2. I think that would work better.
Okay. What is the current 3, which will turn
Oh, I
into
got it.
5. Okay. Overdue notices are sent as a courtesy only. Can you change sent to mailed? We still do mail some overdue notices, but CW Mars automatically generates notices if a patron has provided like text messaging options or email options. So patrons will be notified, I think it's like 2 days in advance when their items are up due.
Yeah.
They get notified when their items are due. They get notified when their items are overdue. So CW Mars automatically sends these out.
I see what you're doing. However, why would you exempt that first line? Or maybe just
I think
roll
it's
it?
introductory. The first line is introductory,
Okay,
and then the requirements for the card
okay,
are underneath.
great.
Thanks. Thanks for letting me run on your page.
So you want to change
Sure.
under 3, that's now 5?
From mailed, from sent to
Or
mailed.
Sent, mailed.
Because patrons are being notified.
Yeah, are there still some patrons that don't have email maybe too?
Sure.
So we can still mail.
That's what I said.
Sometimes.
Instead of saying sent, mailed.
Mail,
As a courtesy, we will mail them.
yeah,
But that's not the only way they receive the notice.
No, that's why I wanted to say that, because as a courtesy, we're still mailing them, but CW Mars itself will automatically
email them.
So
send them out.
this is a different way of saying, if you don't have an email address
If you don't
and
have,
you don't get the notification, you still have to pay your fines, even if we have sent you a mail in the past.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
regardless if you got the
That makes sense,
notification
yeah.
or not, you're still responsible.
But it's not,
patrons are able to get in and see their own account, and they can see what items they have checked out, when they're due,
Right.
anything
Yeah.
that's overdue,
That makes sense.
anything they've been billed for.
But it's
patrons
a
are able to
courtesy
see that.
that they do that, they don't, that doesn't exempt you from having to pay something.
Right.
In other words, they
Get
can't
it
come
or
in and
see
say,
it.
I didn't get a notice, so
Right.
therefore
I don't-
I'm not late.
Something could get lost in the mail, something could happen.
we could decide to stop mailing them.
Is there anything in here that says that we don't pay fines now?
No, I didn't specifically state that we're fine-free, because we're not
Totally,
totally fine-free.
okay.
Yeah, I was having the same thought as I was reading.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Oh, but
under,
wait, we do charge for some things.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, we do.
very little compare,
Yeah.
very little are we
Right.
charging for, and
Plus that could be
other
changed.
libraries,
At any time too.
not
Um,
all libraries are
let's see the-
totally fine-free.
Okay.
And you might lose a piece of an item, for example, like the kids, backpack kits,
Right.
If you lose part of that kit, then you have to pay to replace that
That part.
piece. You do, so we're not,
Mostly replacement.
a lot of it's more replacement costs than anything else, yeah,
Than a fine punishment.
yeah.
Now you just go to jail.
I know.
Is there anything
Library
else?
jail.
Library jail.
Anything else?
So what are we alternately doing?
Well, so this is still a
Minor
draft that's gonna have minor changes, and you'll bring it back again at the next meeting, or?
I'm hoping that you all will vote on it with
Do you wanna
the
vote on
minor
it
edits.
now
I mean, it's
to
so
accept it with
small
the
that-
changes?
Yeah.
All right.
Do we have anything on 4 or no?
Do we have anything what?
On page 4? No. Okay.
Okay,
Just
so,
the numbers continue,
Yes.
if I'm correct.
Yep, yep.
so then do I have a motion to accept the borrower's policy draft with the changes that have been noted?
I'll make a motion to
Thank you,
accept the
Jean. Do I
draft,
have a
yes.
second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so the borrower's policy is passed. Oh, after we vote. After we vote, let's have a vote to accept the borrower's policy.
All right.
Aye. And now that we have voted, let's say, put the borrower's policy to bed and vote and accept it. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate your input. Very
Okay,
helpful.
that was good.
I can't even take it.
I appreciate that.
Jean was sitting here last time.
And you were sitting here, and I forgot all about it. All right, now. So let's see, our next meeting will be February 26th, 2025 at 6 o'clock due to the.
Not
school
March,
break. February.
We've got to get to February.
oh, next meeting, March 3rd, what would, that wasn't for, I thought you
Our
said
next
that.
meeting is February.
Huh?
February, because this is January.
I didn't say March 3rd today, I don't think.
You didn't get that either?
That might have been a boomer, like a.
No, that was February 18th.
Next meeting, March 3rd, I wrote down,
Mm.
Well,
2025.
erase
That might
one.
be
Maybe
for the
it's a Friends
Friends.
meeting.
Oh, that's the Friends.
Oh, that might be the Friends meeting,
Yeah.
There you
okay.
go.
Yep,
That's, okay.
Okay, well,
mystery solved.
yeah. Our next meeting is February 26th,
All right.
2025 at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Not a minute
All right, so
later.
February,
26th
okay,
at 2025 at 6 o'clock.
all right.
So, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Aye, second.
All in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. I got the last one.